Hi guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video. This is the DevOps mock interview day 108. We already completed 107 mock interviews. So please go and check out the playlist section. So don't worry, I'm going to show how you can able to check. Okay, if you are using right YouTube from your laptop, what you can do, or laptop or mobile, right, or in TV, in LED, whatever it may be, just go to YouTube search, okay, and search for DevOps Easy. Okay, DEVOPS space EASY. So you will see my first YouTube channel. Okay, if you see, right, for real-time training, okay, you can call or WhatsApp. Okay, 8500 411 773. Okay, just go to playlist section. So you can check DevOps batch 1 and now batch 2 is going on. Okay, if you want to enroll, definitely. So let me show you. I will close this. Okay, so I will go to DevOps Easy. Okay, class calendar and yeah, DevOps class calendar. Okay, we are going to start a new batch. So you can WhatsApp and you can get the details. This is the class calendar and these are the tools we are going to cover. Okay, you can ping me on WhatsApp to know the details about this live training. Okay, recently we started a new batch, so even if you are watching this video after few days, definitely then also you can able to ping, because one and then new batch will start. Okay, and you can share your with your friends as well. Okay, and in the playlist section you can see, right, 107 videos, DevOps interview question and answers. So go and check all, right, mock interviews. You view full playlist. Okay, so watch from starting to ending. Okay, this mock interview also from beginning to ending, don't skip any part. Today was total interesting and very important. Okay, let's wait for people to join for the mock interview. So before that, I just want to introduce myself. Okay, hi, thank you so much for having me today. I have over 7 years of experience in the IT industry with a strong foundation in Linux administration, cloud engineering, and DevOps practices. I started my career as a Linux administrator where I developed a solid understanding of system management and automation. About a year into my career, I transitioned into a cloud engineering, gaining hands-on experience with various cloud platforms and different DevOps tools. For the past 5 years, I'm working as a DevOps engineer. I have specialized in DevOps tools, focusing on tools and practices that enhance development and operational efficiency. I have specialized, like my expertise includes version control with Git, containerization with Docker, continuous integration with Jenkins, and orchestration with Kubernetes. Apart from this, I have expertise in infrastructure as a code using Terraform and configuration management with Ansible. On the cloud, have experience in various services like EC2, IAM, and VPC, and some more services. And these services will help me to build the application and deploy the applications safely in different environments. That's all about me. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Okay, let's wait for 2 minutes. Once the people will join, then we will start the mock interview. Okay. Yeah, hi Deepak. Thank you for joining. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Can I start?
Yes.
Yeah. Like, yeah. Good evening. Thank you for having me. My name is Deepak Vaishnav, and I'm a DevOps engineer with a 3 year of experience in building and maintaining infrastructure. I'm passionate about automating processes, improving efficiency, and ensuring high availability for applications. In my previous role, I have gained hands-on expertise with a wide range of DevOps tools and technologies. I'm proficient in version control using Git and GitHub, build automation with Maven and continuous integration and continuous delivery with the Jenkins. I'm comfortable managing relational database with the RDS, and I have extensive experience in a containerization with Docker and orchestration using Kubernetes. For monitoring and alerting, I have worked on Prometheus and Grafana as well as AWS CloudWatch. My cloud experience primarily different services like EC2, VPC, ELB, S3, CloudFront, CloudTrail, and CloudWatch, SNS, Route 53. Yeah, that's all from my side. Thank you.
Yeah, everything is perfect. Thank you so much for your introduction. Hi, Lakshman. Do you want to introduce
Yeah,
yourself?
hi Bhavan. Hi Deepak.
Yeah,
Yeah, Lakshman, go ahead. Introduce yourself.
One second. Yeah, Lakshman. Sorry, yeah, Deepak. Bhavan. Okay, so thank you so much for giving the opportunity, Bhavan. So myself, Lakshman Rao, and I am excited to here today. And I have 5.5 year of experience in IT industries with the last 4.6 year dedicated to DevOps engineering. And during this time, I have gained significant experience in building and maintaining robust cloud infrastructure on Azure. So my core skill included designing and implementing CI/CD pipeline using Azure DevOps, containerizing application with the Docker, and orchestration them with the Kubernetes. I am also well versed in the in infrastructure automation using the Terraform. So there I have created the infrastructure and managed the infrastructure through the Terraform. For monitoring and observability, I have worked extensively with the Grafana, Prometheus, Loki, and Azure monitoring, enabling me to ensure system reliability and performance as well. And so I am passionate about streamlining development and workflow and improving infrastructure efficiency. And I am looking forward to learning more about this opportunity. And so this is brief about my career and myself also. Thank you so much.
Super, Lakshman. Compared to previous mock interview, right? You have improved a lot. Please continue the same. I have
Okay, thank you.
impressed a lot with your introduction.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Swapna, do you want to introduce yourself?
No, sir.
Okay, no issues. So today major focus will be on Kubernetes. Okay, I will ask you simple questions on Kubernetes. So let's check who will perform better. Can you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, how do you
yeah,
troubleshoot a crash loopback of pod?
We'll check the kubectl gate pods, so we'll get to know which pod is stuck, and after that kubectl describe pod name, and yeah, we'll check the logs, kubectl gate logs. Using the three command, we can troubleshoot the crash log crack error.
Okay, Lakshman.
Yes. So that is perfect. And I want to add something.
Last
Actually,
one, last one, like Swapna has mentioned, kubectl get logs. So is that correct?
no.
Yeah, then you have said,
kubectl logs and pod name.
yeah, then you need to correct it, right?
Yes, yes. And apart from, I want to add the actually, so there we will get the memory issue in the pod. So we will resolve on them. And and then we will check because when we will get this error, so that time pod will be restart. So there we will increase and set the limit of the pod. That's it.
Okay. Shall we move to the next question? How does Kubernetes perform load balancing across pods? How does Kubernetes perform load balancing across pods?
Load balancing is a services of the Kubernetes, so that will be distribute the traffic on the pod.
No, you are completely wrong. Swapna, do you want to add?
Using kubectl scale, uh, replicas equals no number of sorry kubectl uh, scale deployment number of replicas will
I don't
mention
want
there.
scaling. How Kubernetes perform load balancing? I just want that. I don't
Using
want to
Ingress
scale.
controller, it will manage the
Deepak,
loading load balance.
you want to add something?
No, no, sir.
Okay. Yeah, hi Malik. How does Kubernetes perform load balancing across pods? Do you know?
I'm sorry, Pawan. I haven't started on Kubernetes yet.
Okay, no issues. Lakshman, whatever you have mentioned, it was absolutely right. I just want to check other, right, will they, right, agree with your point or not, but absolutely whatever you have mentioned, it was correct. I have intentionally like told you that you was wrong, but you are correct. So in Kubernetes, service will manage the load balancing.
Okay.
What is readiness versus liveness probe? Nothing but difference between readiness and liveness probe. So Malik, you just participate in this mock interview, okay? You will get some understanding. Even if you don't understand, no need to worry, right? In future, we will learn these tools.
Okay, done.
Yeah.
Yeah, readiness probe will make sure that our pod is ready to manage the traffic, and liveness prod will make sure that our pod is working correctly or not, or it will restart the pod as per the requirement.
No, you are wrong, Lakshman.
Readiness and liveness make sure the health check. Okay. So there we will
Yeah,
set.
difference. What is the difference? I know this both are do health checks, but Swapna has mentioned, but she is completely wrong. I'm not happy with her. But I want you to answer this. Like, what is the readiness and liveness, and what is the difference between them?
Actually, readiness and depends on times of the pod. Actually. So there in the YAML pipeline we will set the limit of readiness and liveness.
Okay, what is the difference between this readiness and liveness probe?
Sorry, Pan. Actually, I'm not remembering. I know that, but right now,
Okay,
right.
Swapna has answered, right? You have listened to her, like what she has mentioned. You need to focus. Like how people are answering, like what they are answering. Depending upon that, if they are doing wrong, right, you need to correct it. So whatever the Swapna said, did you listen? Did you got it? What she said? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm asking to you itself. Did you listen like what Swapna has said regarding readiness and liveness probe?
Sapna said, I think depends. No.
Sorry. My simple on like question was, did you heard like what Swapna has
Yeah,
mentioned?
I heard, but that's wrong. Actually,
Okay,
that will be
what
not.
like what exactly she has mentioned? You said you heard right. What she has mentioned? What like what it is wrong?
That she said they are getting the restart of the
Okay, which one will restart?
pod.
Okay,
Yeah,
if it is
but
restarted, like what will it comes under?
when we will memory is full, so that time pod will be automatically restart.
Memory. If memory full, what
I
will restart?
mean, suppose our node has been full, or node memory has been full, so that time pod will be restart. We are getting.
Or how it will restart?
And that will be automatically they will be pod will be on the running state, but when we will check the pod, so they that time showing the restart of the pod, I mean that will be automatically restart. One, two, three depends on the error.
Okay, like how that error will gets, like how pod will get to know that it should be restarted.
suppose I'm giving I want to give one of the example. Suppose our deployment has been failed. Okay, so our CI/CD pipeline has been failed. So that time there sorry that time our CI/CD pipeline has been passed, but our application is down. Okay, so that time pod it will be restart we are getting, and so that on that time we will increase the limit of the node, and then we will trigger the pipeline, so that will be automatically will be fine. And through the pod this kubectl get pod dis- sorry kubectl describe pod command, we can check the pod status.
No, no. My simple question was it will be restarting. So what conditions you will keep? Like how it will get to know that I need to restart the pod? You are mentioning memory will be increased. It will restart. But
Yes.
how it will get to know how it will be restarted? Who will restart it? Swapna, you want to add to this?
Yes, liveness probe will make sure that our prod is working properly or not. If it's not working, so it will restart it. And if it's again failing, so with the help of readiness probe, we'll schedule a new pod in the same in that pod in place of that pod.
So Lakshman, you have mentioned that Swapna, right? Whatever Swapna has mentioned, it was completely wrong. No, Swapna was correct. Okay,
But
I testing you. So whatever she has mentioned, it was absolutely correct. Whatever she has mentioned regarding readiness and liveness pro.
okay,
Okay,
but
yeah, go ahead.
like if getting the error on liveness and readiness, so that time pod will be on the pending state, I think.
No, if it is in pending state, no readiness prob is there, so it will schedule that. It will replace that pod with the new pod. So liveness prob and readiness
Readiness
prob
probe
is
will not like
completely
will
different.
stop sending. Right, it will be removed from the. It will the traffic will not go to that pod, so it will remove it. If the pod will went to pending state.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I am asking you what is the difference between readiness and liveness probe, but you are telling right CI/CD pipeline will fail, right?
Yes, actually I'm saying the process of error, so that is.
I'm not asking you the like how application will deploy, right? I'm asking you
Yes,
in the Kubernetes perspective, what is the difference
yes.
between them?
Okay.
How do you scale pods automatically in Kubernetes? Sapna, you just be idle. Lakshman will answer this. Don't take it in negative. Okay, this is the chance for you so that in the real interview you will perform better. Not like that. I'm only targeting you. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So we will use to the replica for scale the pod. Uh, kubectl scale.
To automatically scale the pod.
Uh, No. So for automatically scale the pod, we will use to the manifest file, YAML file. So there we will configure to the replica and set the replica of the pod, and there we will set the replica in the manifest file.
Swapna, you want to try?
Yeah, we'll use a HPA object, so it will make sure that if traffic will increase, so on the basis of minimum and maximum pod, pod number of pod will increase.
Yes. Yes.
What is HPA full form?
Horizontal pod order scaler.
Okay, you need to mention that.
Yes.
How do you manage secrets securely in Kubernetes?
Using secrets, we can manage the secret credentials used in a Kubernetes, and config map is also there for the configuration things.
Lakshman,
Yeah, that's correct. And there we will encrypt the secrets in the YAML file through the configuration.
through YAML file.
I mean, in the YAML file, we will write the configuration and config map, and
Which
there we
object
will
you will use to see for secrets? What you will use for securely storing the passwords in Kubernetes?
uh, black box.
Swapna?
Yeah, secret object will use
Yeah.
to storing the secret, and will store base 64 value in that secret m- manifest.
Simple, right, Lakshman? We will use Kubernetes secrets for securing the passwords and all.
Okay.
She already mentioned, right, in the beginning. So I asked the same question.
Yes.
Yeah, just focus like what she is answering. Depending upon it, you can able to answer again. Okay, you only if she participate, right? It will not help. So this mock interview for all. So treat this is like a real interview and utilize, right, this whatever the time you are getting. If you don't utilize, there will be waste of enrolling. Anyone watching this video on YouTube, please like this video. Okay, you are watching this video and you are getting good knowledge out of it, and watch completely till the end, and right, if you are looking for training, okay, don't miss the chance, join and enroll for the live classes. Okay, in upcoming days we are starting a new batch, and you can able to see the mobile number, so you can ping me on WhatsApp as well. Okay, how do you expose your application to the internet using Ingress? How do you expose your application to the internet using Ingress?
So,
Using load.
Yeah, Lakshman, go ahead.
Yes, Lakshman, go ahead.
yes, through the IP address and port number and target port, we can access from there.
Swapna, how do you expose your application to the internet using Ingress?
Yeah, we'll use load balancer service, and it will using that will expose to the outside world.
Okay, using Ingress, for like how you will going to do?
Using target port, we'll mention that.
No,
Using port is
I want to expose the application to the internet, that to using Ingress.
no idea.
You know about Ingress controller?
Yeah, it will help us to expose to the outside world.
Yeah, you
So
need to
yeah,
mention
ingress
that.
controller will use that. We'll use ingress controller
Yeah, you need to
in the
mention this.
object. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. So
Okay,
ingress controller is the particular answer for this.
yes. How
Okay,
do you
fine.
configure persistent storage for a pod? How do you configure a persistent storage for a pod?
Uh, yeah, using persistent volume, uh, will store the will use for the storage in the pod.
Only persistent volume?
Persistent volume and persistent volume claim.
Okay.
So both will. Yeah.
Okay. What are namespaces in Kubernetes? How are they used?
Yeah, namespaces will use to differentiate our number of manifest or number of object. Means it's work like means will divide our means in a some we divide our number of object in a particular thing. So, in some files we'll store the front end, or in some we'll divide that. Can't I?
Arun, what are namespaces in Kubernetes and how are they used?
Namespaces are like a virtual isolation um, between the deployment of services that will help you create separate environments like dev, test, etc.
Super, you are right. Got it, Swapna?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How do you perform a rolling update in Kubernetes?
Yeah, we'll use deployment object for the rolling update in the Kubernetes.
No, you are
And
wrong. Arun, how do you perform a rolling update in Kubernetes?
Yes, we do it using the deployment strategies like maximum unavailable 25%. So we do it through the
No,
deployment
no,
side.
you are wrong. Lakshman,
Okay.
Sorry, Pawan, actually I was lost my connection.
okay. How do you perform a rolling update in Kubernetes?
kubectl get rollout. Sorry, kubectl rollout and yeah. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Yeah. kubectl rollout and deployment file through this way we can
No, like
use.
Swapna Arun has mentioned deployment, but I said that they are wrong. So how do you perform a rolling update in Kubernetes?
Rolling update actually performance based on the previous version of image deployment. Suppose we are getting the any error on the recent build image,
No,
so
which
we will
object you are going to use?
uh, roll out.
Yeah, Arun and Swapna, you both are right. Whatever you have answered, I just told you wrong just to check Lakshman. So
Okay.
Lakshman, you are also right. You also mentioned deployment. Okay, how do you roll back a failed deployment? You try it, Lakshman. Now you want to roll back, not a rollout. You want to roll back to a failed deployment.
Okay. Sorry. Yes, sorry. That time a rolling update, right?
So how do you roll back a failed deployment?
kubectl rollout and deployment file.
Roll back, not rollout. How do you roll back a previous, sorry, failed deployment? Anyone want
Yeah,
to try?
yeah,
we will deploy.
kubectl set
Yes.
image, and what will replace the image name. So first what we used previously, and in place of that, we'll use some different image, whatever you want.
Arun?
We use the command kubectl rollout undo
Yes, undo deployment.
deployment and version that we want to roll out to.
Yeah. How does Kubernetes handle service discovery? How does Kubernetes handle service discovery?
Using labels and selectors.
Anyone want to try? How do you debug a pod stuck in pending state? How do you debug a pod stuck in pending state? How do you debug a pod stuck in pending state?
We check the
We will
logs.
check the okay, go ahead.
I don't want straightforward answer. You need to explain. Arun, go ahead.
Yes, we first check the logs using kubectl logs pod name and see what's happening. And if that's not enough, we will go with the kubectl describe commands and check the events. And it is probably pending because unable to pull the image. So once it is resolved, we apply it again.
So, what are taints and tolerations? What are taints and tolerations? So, completely whatever required for Kubernetes interview, all are covered. If you observe, what are
Yes,
taints and tolerations?
Taints are used to apply on the nodes where we don't want to deploy any pods. For example, if we want to do a upgrade in the pod. That time we drain the pod and taint it so that no more scheduling will happen in that particular node. So that is the taint. And toleration will help you, will allow you to schedule the pod in the tainted nodes. That's a toleration mechanism. For example, the toleration is used in the cases where we want to deploy specific type of pods in any node. For example, DB pod should be scheduled to the specific nodes. That time we use the taint using the toleration. We do the deployments. I don't know how to put it in the words, but this is the mechanism behind it.
Okay, Lakshman, Swapna, Deepak, Malik. If you know answer, please go ahead and tell.
Yes, that's I'm agree with the Arun. That is
No, no, you should not tell. I will agree with Arun. You need to answer. I will also agree with Arun.
actually tent
It will
is
not help,
used.
right?
Yeah, actually tent is used for deploy the pod on the particular node that is used for. Actually, when we will drain the node, so that time tent it is help for deploy the pod on the particular specific node.
I don't understand. Okay, Swapna, what are taints and tolerations?
Yeah, tent, when we apply the tents on any node, so it will make sure that particular pod will not schedule in not that particular node. And when we will allow toleration, so in that case, will that pod will schedule when toleration will exist. So
Yes,
toleration will, yeah.
you are right. So I completely understand what you have said. So I didn't understand what Harun has said, what Lakshman has said. But whatever you have mentioned, right, it was clear. So super. I am impressed. Arun, you got it right. You said I am not able to right explain. So now
Yes,
you can check this recording once again.
sure.
Okay, you can answer the same in the interviews. Right, simple. Right, Swapna has mentioned simple and short. By this,
Correct.
right, opposite person will definitely going to. Okay, then again we have two questions. How do you restrict pod resource usage? Nothing but how you
Use
restrict a pod resource usage.
using limits and yeah,
Arun,
resource
Yes, we can set limits for the CPU and the memory
limits
usage.
and
This
request.
way, all
yes.
the pods will be using the memory and CPU consistently, not exceeding that.
Lakshman,
Yeah, there we will use to the resource quota and set the limit of the CPU and
yeah. Limits and request. Last question for today. How do view logs of a failed pod that has been terminated? How do you view a logs of a failed pod that has been terminated? Nothing but pod was not there. This was a tricky question, I know. Shall we check the answers?
Yes.
Okay. How do you troubleshoot a crash loopback of pod? So this indicates the pod is crashing repeatedly. So steps will be kubectl get pods, kubectl describe pod name, and kubectl logs pod name. So what you are going to check for? Application errors in logs, or liveness and readiness probe misconfigurations. Okay, resource limits causing. So these are the three reasons mainly for crash loop back off. If liveness probe failed, it will restart the pod. If readiness probe will fail, then also sometimes it will go into a crash loop back off. If there is an issue with your application, right, nothing but whatever the docker image you are using for your application, if it is not working, right, if the application is not working properly, then obviously it will be crash loop back off. And if the resource limit also exhausted, of course, then also you will get a crash loop back off. So can you able to answer it in the interview? Okay, I will update this, you just check it out. Anyone watching this video on YouTube, if you want to get access to this content, you need to enroll, then only will get the access. How does Kubernetes perform load balancing across pods? Kubernetes uses services like what are services types? Cluster IP, node port, load balancer to load balancer traffic across pods. So this is the example for the service API version v1. Kind, type of your right object, which is service, metadata, name of your service, what name you want to give. Under the spec, you will be having a selector, something app, my app. So service will get to know it will search for the pod with the label app my app. Through that, it will send the traffic to that particular pod. So nothing but for every pod, you will have a label called as app my app. Okay, and the port 80 and the target port 8080, and the type will be cluster IP. Nothing but what is this port? This is the service port. Target port, your application port. Nothing but your container port. Okay. What is readiness versus liveness probe? Readiness probe determines if the app is ready to serve traffic. Okay, liveness probe determines if the app is healthy and running. So whatever the Swapna has mentioned, it was absolutely correct. So if you want to define the liveness probe, this is the example. Okay, liveness probe http get path. Okay, go and check inside the container in the /health and check whether port 8080 is working or not. Okay, initial delay seconds 15. So before starting the liveness probe check, wait for 15 seconds. Okay, every 10 seconds, period seconds, nothing but for every 10 seconds it will perform the check. If there is 8080 port is not working, then automatically liveness probe will fail. If the liveness probe will fail, what happens? Anyone? If liveness probe got failed, what will happen? Am I audible?
Yeah, the pods will not be scheduled. No,
Anyone,
it will be it will be restart.
Yes, it will be restart. How do you scale pods automatically in Kubernetes? So use horizontal pod autoscaler, that is HPA. So kubectl autoscale deployment, my app, if the CPU percentage is more than 70%, you can keep the minimum and maximum. Automatically, depending upon the traffic, it will maintain the maximum and minimum. If there is no traffic, it will keep pod as 2. If there is huge traffic, it will set a limit until 5. Okay, how do you manage secrets securely in Kubernetes? Use secrets and mount them as environmental variable. So if you want to create a secret, what is the command? Kubectl create secret, generic secret name. Okay, and from literal you can give the key and the value, or you can use a manifest file as well to create the secret. So there is a two types of there. What are they? Imperative and declarative. Yes or no? So what is imperative and what is declarative? Anyone want to answer? In the interview, they will definitely ask. What is an imperative?
Yes,
And what is
imperative is a command that we directly give in the CLI, whereas the declarative will create a some file
yes,
and apply it.
Yeah, you are right. This one multiple times whenever I attend interview, right, they have asked. Okay, how do you expose an app to the internet using Ingress? So use an Ingress controller like Nginx and configure rules. Okay, if you see API version, kind Ingress, metadata, name, rules, host. Okay, whenever I get a traffic to app.example.com, so route the traffic to to this service. So whenever execute app example.com nothing but example.com itself, so it will go the traffic will go to the service which is my app service. You can have multiple rules, okay, like this. So if someone enter for example.com/dev, so then automatically this send the traffic to another service. How do you configure persistent storage for a pod? So use persistent volume and persistent volume claim. Okay, volume mount path. So your mount path and name of the persistent volume. Okay, if you see name, data volume, persistent volume claim name. What are namespaces in Kubernetes? How are they used? Namespaces are logical partitions in a cluster. used to separate environments. So like dev test and prod. So kubectl will create namespace, right? Kubectl will get pods, and you can get the pods which are present in the namespace. How do you perform a rolling update in Kubernetes? So Kubernetes deployment supports rolling update by default. So you can use kubectl set image deployment, or you can check the status, rollout status deployment. How do you roll back a failed deployment? Kubectl rollout undo deployment. How does Kubernetes handle service discovery? Each service gets a DNS name and a cluster IP. Pods use core DNS for resolving service names. So example, service dot, right, namespace, nothing but default dot svc dot cluster dot local. How do you debug a pod stuck in
Can you
pending state?
explain the answer for the 11th question, the service discovery?
Yeah, how services will communicate. So it will use a DNS name, like for suppose your service name dot, on which namespace service is located, namespace name dot, and obviously service dot cluster dot local. In between the communication, how you going to happen? It will create a DNS name via dot. So there is a code DNS, right, in Kubernetes. So it is one type of predefined service available via that. It will resolve and it will work. How do you debug a pod stuck in pending state? So kubectl will describe pod and the pod name. So node resource availability, storage class issues, taints and toleration. You can able to check. So what are taints and toleration? So taints prevents pods from scheduling on node unless they have tolerations. So whatever Swapna has mentioned. So you can have a tolerations, so for the tainted node. So if you say same tolerations, you need to use. If you say value no schedule, value no schedule. How do you restrict pod resource usage? So you can kept request and limits. So these are the examples. How do you view logs of a failed pod that has been terminated? So you can use kubectl logs pod name previous. So use previous to view logs from a crashed container. Okay. So yeah, that's it for today's mock. Whoever watching this video on YouTube, please like this video, and if you are looking for training, you can ping me on WhatsApp. You can able to see the mobile number, and you can share this video to your friends as well, so that they will also get advantage, and they can join the live classes.